Championship football is relentless, and so are these predictions as we head into game week 8 of this 2023-2024 Championship season. Last week in the Superbru Predictor lead, top scorer with a magnificent score of 18 points was Ferris 77. In the overall leaderboard now though, top of the shop is Alex Cochrane there on 84 points, just the point ahead of Ferris 77. So that was last week. Let's crack on, move on, where games take place on Friday the 22nd of September through to Sunday the 24th of September, and we kick off with Birmingham City taking on QPR with a draw against Swansea in our last match where really they should have taken all 3 points. But succumbed to Swansea. And Birmingham City, back-to-back defeats now, haven't won it in 3 games, but being at home under the lights on Friday evening, I expect Birmingham just to sneak through this one 2-1. We then move on to Coventry City against Huddersfield at the Ricoh Arena, and Huddersfield now just the one defeat in 4 matches. Neil Warnock's come to the end of his tenure there at Huddersfield. Coventry City being soundly beaten, although the scoreline doesn't reflect that, with a defeat away against Cardiff on Tuesday evening. Haven't won now in 5 matches either, so it's only the 1 win this season. But in this one, I think Coventry can play some nice stuff. They just haven't got that sort of killer instinct in front of goal, and could be a draw this one, but I fancy Coventry to win this one 1-0. We then move on to Portman Road, where Ipswich having a brilliant time back in the Championship, winning 6 matches of the 7 games played so far. And Blackburn Rovers sort of inconsistent, to win one, lose one, win one, lose one, etc. And it was defeat at home against Sunderland, surprisingly, on Wednesday evening, where it's been a bit of a fortress there at Ewood Park. But Ipswich Town at home against Blackburn. I fully expect Ipswich to win this one, and I'm going to go for a 3-1 home victory to the Tractor Boys. We then move on to Ellen Road, where Leeds United take on Watford. Now Leeds United playing out a draw midweek against Hull City. Hull City very good this season, and Watford drawing 2-2 against West Brom. If anyone's going to win this one, it will be Leeds. However, Watford could pull something out of the bag here, and I am going to go for a 1-1 draw. We then move on to the King Power Stadium, where the Foxes take on Bristol City. Bristol City, the Wurzels, having a brilliant win against their southwestern rivals of Plymouth, the Pilgrims, in the last game round. And Leicester City keep marching on, don't they? I think they're how does their song go? Something like straight back, straight up. Straight back up, straight back up. Leicester City, I believe the song is, beating Norwich, the Canaries 2-0. In this one, I think Bristol City will make life difficult for Leicester, but ultimately I see the Foxes winning this one 2-1. Then we move on to the Riverside Stadium, where Middlesbrough, drawing their last fixture against Sheffield Wednesday, but they had a terrible season so far result-wise. Performance-wise, they're doing a little bit better, but they're coming up against Southampton's side, who just concede goals for fun, don't they? Okay, it was 1-0 in the last match against Ipswich, but in this one, everything points to Southampton victory, but I think Middlesbrough will play out a draw in this one. I'm going to go for a 1-1 scoreline. Then we got Plymouth home against Norwich. These 2 teams feature on the thumbnail, of course, green and yellow and green taking on each other. The Pilgrims, 4 defeats in the last 5 matches, and Norwich 2 defeats in their last 3. I think though Norwich will bounce back after that difficult defeat against Leicester City, and I can see them all taking all 3 points in a 3-1 away victory against Plymouth. We then move on to New York Stadium, where Rotherham United, just the 1 win this season, take on tie flying. Who would have thought Preston NE top of the table at this time of the season? Where in past seasons they've drawn a lot of matches, they've turned those draws into wins now. A good victory against Birmingham City midweek, and on the weekend it was a fine win against Plymouth as well. And I do think they'll overturn this Rotherham side. I think Rotherham will score the Millers. I think Preston will come away with a 2-1 away win. Then we move on to Bet365 Stadium with Stoke City. Before the season, I think I've said in previous video, a lot of people were tipping them, and they gained a draw after 3 straight defeats with a draw against Huddersfield Town. And Hull City, 1 defeat in the Championship campaign so far, and that was on the opening day of the season. In this one, I think it'll be tight, but I think and fully expect Hull, the Tigers, not to quite maul the Potters, but I think they will come away with a 1-0 victory. Sunderland now, 3 wins on the bounce, taking on a resurgent Cardiff City side. Aaron Ramsey rested for that victory over Coventry City, so the Bluebirds have a little bit of strength in depth there. Scoring goals now. Can they score in this one? I think they've scored in every single game this season in the Championship. Sunderland, another fine win against Blackburn Rovers. 2 3-1 wins now on the bounce, and they're scoring goals for fun. So this is going to be a high scoring match. I think the spoils will be shared even, and I'm going to go for Desmond's in this one, 2-2. Then we've got the Jacks back at home, back at the Swansea.com Stadium, taking on Sheffield Wednesday. This is an opportunity for the Jacks to gain all 3 points. Sheffield Wednesday, 2 draws in their last 2 matches, so they could, gain a draw in this one. I think it'll be tight, but I'm just going to edge it to the Jacks. I know their fans aren't happy at the moment down there in South Wales, but I'm going to go for a 2-1 scoreline to the Jacks in that one. And the final fixture of this game week sees West Brom just 1 defeat in their last 6. Coming up against Millwall, who gained their first victory in 4 against Rotherham, 3-0. So this one could end up in a draw again, but we're just going to edge it with West Brom. I think Millwall will be resilient in this game, but I think they'll succumb probably to a late goal because there's a lot of added time in these matches, and that may suit West Brom at home. So I'm going to go for a 1-0 victory to the Baggies. So that concludes my predictions for game week 8. Make sure you leave your predictions over at the Superbru website. Thick and fast these games, aren't they? And I think we probably return to League Cup action next week. But thanks for joining me once again. Enjoy your Championship weekend. We'll see you all in the next video.